Okay, guys, we're back. Chris Cullen back with you on CC's Aquatic Adventures. I'm sorry I haven't done any videos. I've been kind of busy. I haven't been able to get down here and do a video. I've been doing a lot of moving stuff and trying to get this space ready for a pool table. You can see we already got the slate down here. We're working on getting the table down here for this spot. This is all the stuff we had on the shelf that we'll go back. Obviously, we got our storage there, but we're going to do some more shelving and get some of this stuff from storage put away. But for the most part, we cleared this whole section out last time, so we could put a pool table in here. It's more for me to keep myself busy, to keep myself practicing. I do tournament stuff for pool, so we're gonna do that. And that's the update on the room so far. We had this all cleared out, but we had to move the shelf because we're trying to get that piece of slate downstairs. And of course, we'll put a table down here for the future, and we're very excited about that. So it's coming. We just got to give it a couple more days. Probably this Saturday, I'll have the table down here. But anyway, what I wanted to focus on was getting back to the fish nook and the fish room upstairs, which I'll go up there in a little bit. So the only update we have here is I just did a water change on these tanks. I obviously keep up to date with that. This tank, you can see, looks great. Everybody's doing great in that tank. I'm so happy I put the zebra and yo-yo loaches in there. It just seems like they're much happier together. They do really, really well in groups. As you can see, we got the flying fox there too, who is cleaning up any of the algae in the tank. These are good fish to have. I did have a bunch of black algae in here, black hair algae, and you can see there's no black hair algae in that tank whatsoever. Actually, if you really look close, there was some other types of green algae in there too, but he's pretty much eating up all the fake plants. I use fake plants just for these guys to hide. I don't really care about real live plants or fake plants. I do have some live plants in some tanks, and actually I love live plants. I actually want to put some live plants in a 75-gallon upstairs, but we'll do that eventually. These two tanks down here are just grow out tanks. I got one tank to the left. There's guppies in there. There's about 10 or 15 guppies in there. I'm growing them out. I'm probably gonna put more in there because the tank upstairs have more babies. So we're gonna pretty much bring the babies, any babies down here, let them grow out. You can't really see because there's no light in these tanks. I don't keep lights on tanks that are quarantine or grow out tanks. I just keep an eye on the fish. There's one baby polar convict stick who had a little bit of a problem with his. He had like a little fungus going on, so I took him out of the tank, and that's very common when you have babies. As you can see, these are the polar convict babies. I'm growing them out. There's about 20 in there. I had about 40, so I lost about half of them, which is very common when you're growing out fish. You got to make sure that everything is perfectly fine. I had a problem with this tank with flow, and I was getting ammonia spikes, so I added another filter in there. There's an in the water filter, and I have a big sponge filter in there that is keeping these guys alive. I also ran some. They were having some issues with baby fungus that happens. This is stuff I use here, Maris and Oxy. I was using very, very little. You want to dose your tank with it. I did it for 5 days, and there was a big improvement with the way the fish were acting. I also did water changes. You don't want to do too many water changes with babies in the beginning because they try and get used to that water. So I was doing water changes like once every 3 or 4 days, and then I once I treated the tank, I just did it. I'm doing it like once a week now, maybe once every couple of weeks. Got cut off there. Sorry, guys. The video got cut off. I don't know where I left off, but what I was saying is I do water changes like once a week or once every other week now, and these guys are doing much better. There's about 20 in there. Just going to continue to grow them out in this tank and see what happens. That's pretty much it. Obviously we got the platies here. These guys are just phenomenal fish. They're great. Um, I was having some issues with them as far as the water goes, and then I made some adjustment on the pH. I added some crushed coral in here, and it's been able to keep the pH steady. One thing about fish, you want to keep everything steady. You don't want things up and down. Um, that's what happens is the fish get sick and stuff like that, and you don't really want anything like that to happen. So um, I treated this tank here with General Cure. Um, one of the reasons why I haven't been able to make a video is because I've been working with a fish that has a hole in the head, um, and it's a geophagus. Now, I was thinking about moving him to a quarantine tank, like a 20-gallon here. Um, I wanted to do that, but I was kind of avoiding it because I have two convicts in there that are breeding. I didn't want to move them out of that tank if I didn't have to. So I'm not even sure if they have babies yet, but they definitely laid eggs in there. Um, Let me get the light. If you look down there, you can't really see any eggs in there, but they're probably hiding back there. I can't really see anything, but they definitely got something going on down there. It's probably eggs. So I don't want to move them right now. If it was a dire situation, I would, but it seems like I've been treating the guy with water changes and just clean water, and I'm just gonna keep doing it, keep doing water changes until he gets fully healed. Now, and we still have two angelfish in here. Um, it, the thing I'm trying to narrow down is I it didn't start having hole in the head problems until I put these two angelfish in there that were bigger. Um, I don't know if that overcrowded the tank or if I'm feeding it too much. So I've been doing some research and trying to figure out um, why he got it. So um, I've just been keeping the water clean. Now, one thing I did add in that tank was some some carbon. I did some research. Carbon is not good for cichlids. If you have carbon in the tank, get rid of it. I told you guys I switched over to carbon a while ago. I mean, I took all my carbon out, but I did use carbon one time because I was treating a tank, and I had a fish that was the angelfish that I was sick that had to move. So I put some carbon in there, but I totally forgot I had it in the canister filter. So I think the having too much canister filter, too much carbon is what caused it. But anyway, I've been dealing with that, so that's really one of the reasons why I haven't had a chance to do a video. So that's why I'm doing a video today. But yeah, so platies had, I think there's the one baby now that's growing bigger. I did notice one of the platies have a big belly, so I'm pretty sure she's probably pregnant. So we'll have more babies in there, and obviously these convicts are having babies. The polar convicts upstairs, you guys know they had babies again. So we'll show you that in a little bit. We'll go upstairs. But that's pretty much it, guys. This original, and of course the beta, I didn't get a picture of the beta. He's in there though, right there. He's doing great by himself. He loves that tank. A bunch of plants in there. But anyway, and that costs a 15-gallon there, guys. I won't ever forget that. This is the same tank been running for a long time. Obviously, we've got the pencil fish in here, and the rest are mixed tetras, glow light tetras, black neons, green neons, and I think there's a couple of clown loaches in there, and zebra loaches. Sorry, um, and I think that's it. And a couple of blue neons. Yeah. So I mean, this tank, I haven't touched this tank. I haven't moved anything around. They're doing great. Probably one of my favorite tanks. I love tetras. I love watching. I love pencil fish too. Pencil fish are great. If I do end up get more fish, I'll probably add to this tank. Anyway, I was really contemplating getting rid of that tank, but I decided to keep it because I just like it. So that's it, guys. Of course, everything's run up this pump here. I do have, from time to time, I will run. I run once I do like a water change, or if I change, like yesterday, I cleaned these sponge filters. I took them out, cleaned them, Pretty much every one of them. There's one in there. I pretty much cleaned all these sponge filters out. So when you do that, um, I always like to have another filter in there just to make sure you don't lose any of the beneficial bacteria. So that's one of the reasons why I keep a backup plan for these tanks. Everyone has a hang-on back filter. Um, I don't necessarily use them all. I did start using a hang-on back with this saltwater tank, just because of how they eat. Um, I had a problem with snails in here, but I did realize that they ate all the snails. Um, and I cleaned this tank out recently. I did a gravel vac because there's so many shells in the bottom. There's still some down there, but I did a full vacuum on this on the sand and everything because it was so dirty. But these guys, they hide during the day. They usually come out at night. I just turn the lights on for these guys, so they don't usually come out. But anyway, that's it for down here, guys. Remember, the dream was to have babies, and we're doing that. We're growing fish out. Uh, one, two, three, four, five, six tanks down here are for growing out babies. These two bottom ones, we're going to continue to do that. Um, but you know, the 20-gallon is for the convicts because they like a little more room, and that's pretty much the those six tanks. There's two 10 gallons, one 10 gallon down here, the 20 gallon, and two 5 gallons are pretty much grow out tanks for right now. And there's a 15 gallon upstairs with grow out tanks for babies, and we'll show you that in a second. Um, so this tank here um, is just a mixed tank, and you can see that the Lotus is doing great. So anyway, let's go upstairs and show you the rest of the garage, guys. Okay, guys, my garage is kind of tight. If you look in here, we got some storage up here. Just way to move stuff around to get this pool table down here, 8-foot table, and we couldn't get it down, so we had to move stuff around. And this is something that I took off from the basement, and um, we couldn't get it down there. So I moved everything back up to the garage, and we're kind of tight in here. So it's gonna be kind of hard doing a video because I can't get from behind it. But that's, you know, I'll make this quick because there really isn't that much to talk about in here. I already took up a lot of space with downstairs. So obviously 40 gallon has stayed the same, nothing changed. 20 gallon down there, nothing different. And you know, fish are doing great. I added a pothos in there to see if it would grow a little bit, but I haven't had any luck. But that's pretty much it. You know, plants. I'm going to add some plants in here. You can see the wisteria is growing like crazy. And obviously the fin sword is growing. Didn't get much growth out of the onion plant. I moved from the other tank, but hey, what are you gonna do? We still got a lot of growth down there in the cryptos, and you know that's cryptocorn is doing really well, but we're not really worried about that because those plants have been in there forever. So that's pretty much another Tetra tank, and then of course these are the babies, guys. They're free swimming now. You know. We'll have to make an adjustment on what tank they go in, but you know they're great parents, and the babies. One thing about convicts and polar convicts that the babies are never, ever, 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 ever going to stop coming. So this is the second batch of babies, and you know, as you can see, the tank is going crazy. Got some diatom in the back there, but it's mainly from feeding and from you know, just leaving the light on. But we're gonna have to at one point get another filter in here, which I'll probably do eventually. Once I move the angelfish out, we'll put another filter in here, and maybe move these guys out. But that's not really much of a change from what we've seen in this tank. Baby's going crazy, and of course, I'm kind of hard for me to film this, but this is the 75 gallon angelfish tank. You can see the Geophagus got some pitting on his face. That's from Hole in the Head. I think it's Hole in the Head. I haven't seen something like that type of hole in the head. I've had Oscars with hole in the head, but there's some research. The pitting does happen like that, so I'm thinking it is. But I also had to move this rock here. I think he might have been hitting his head on that rock in the corner. He was hanging out in the corner. So I'm thinking maybe he scraped his head on that a couple times. I don't know. So I moved that, and I still want to keep that rock in there so the catfish can hide. But there is some hitting on his head, so I'm thinking it might be hole in the head. So what I'm doing is just straight up, just every day water changes, keeping the water clarity good. I don't really have a tank to quarantine him in. And I don't want to quarantine the whole tank, obviously. So I keep an eye on these guys, make sure no one else has it on their head. And I don't see anything else going on. Been keeping an eye on his tank for a long time. So, and of course, this guy doesn't have anything at all. Okay. And like I said, I did have carbon in here, so it might be it. But I'm not going to treat it with any medication until I know that it's not getting better. But I did notice that he's getting better. So I will keep an update on these guys. If I notice that it's getting worse, I will move him out of here and put him in a different tank. I also added filtration in there. I put another sponge filter. And because the stuff I read, sponge filter or adding filtration. And I also looked into getting, I had put some lava rock in there. I know lava rock sometimes is porous and it does hold other types of bacteria and other types of things. So, the carbon might have been, filtering into that. So I took that out too yesterday. I did another water change in this tank. You can see that it's kind of, the pitting is a little bit worse than on the right side. So, like I said, we're gonna watch this guy, see if he gets any better. It's a lot better than it was. Um, so I've noticed definitely gotten better. So I'm going to continue to treat him like this. Water changes every other day until we get that marking off his face. Um, so from research, it does take a long time. So we're going to continue to monitor it and see what happens. I know you guys probably make comments about how bad it is, but I'm going to keep doing what I do. Fresh water is always the key to me for making fish better. Um, Obviously, he's chasing the other guy around, but he's still active. He still wants to eat. So, and it's not getting worse. If I notice it getting worse, I will take him out and put him in a 20-gallon and treat him with some general cure. Anyway, that's it for that tank. And then, of course, I still got the green terror in there, and the Baylor sharks, and the two African cichlids, and there's a Jack Dempsey in there. Those guys doing great. I have no problem with this tank. There was some aggression going on, but it kind of stopped. Added some different things in there to stop them from seeing each other so much. So they're kind of not as bad as they used to be. I don't see the Jack Dempsey. Oh, he's right there in the corner. They're both in the corner there, hanging out. Yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. And of course, the Pseudodonis is in there, and I got a Pleco. And that tank will stay the same for a while. I may put some more Baylor sharks in there, but they seem to be doing pretty good. I haven't had anybody jump out or go crazy. Very peaceful tank. They all get along pretty good. I just know where Pleco is. He's hiding there somewhere. But yeah, that's pretty much it. 125. I don't have a problem with, and they seem to be doing pretty good. So anyway, that's it, guys. Just wanted to give you an update and show you what's going on, and we'll give you guys an update on this Geophagus, see how he does. His colors still look great. He's still swimming around, so we'll see how he does, and we'll keep an eye on him. All right, guys. So next time, remember, you can't own him, rehome him. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Comment. See you next time, guys.